Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we are back with Mountain Arena. So, this is going to obviously center, as you can tell, mostly on the war between Micklin and Vanheim. And last episode, I promised you some action, and it looks like they indeed are going to deliver. So yeah, message from Micklin, Vanheim war begins. Think we know that. Pretty obvious to see from the flags down below. From Ubar, I have to admit, I'm at the end of my wisdom. I kill the full army, but I don't even put a dent in these Dione. A nation with mostly air and fire definitely has trouble fighting against these machines. I feel like a hobbit trying to take on Sauron. And the most frustrating bit, I bet Lucid would have found a wonderful combo of items and spells taking apart the Dione like butter. Still, I never give up and never surrender. I'll move back to the cap and regroup. Perhaps I'll start having other ideas. By the way, if you guys ever run into a super combatant you can't kill, you just take it and you put it in like a Discord thread and say, how do I kill it? And you'll get some people that are going to be like, you just hit it with holy scourges, right? And, you know, for like this. Like, people are just going to say things like, use a great sword of sharpness. It might not be enough, okay? So it's going to be a magical set of items, right? So, but you'll get ideas. And the important thing is to understand which ideas are good and bad or have good and bad parts, and then put those together into something that can actually work. Or you just go test shit yourself. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, you just basically need an understanding of the combat mechanics of like how attack and defense work. You're going to have to, like, if you're getting thugged, I think his thinking, too, was like, I do not want to get in melee with these motherfuckers, with anything I care about. Which, given they have Spirit Sight and 26 attack and 26 defense, you can clearly understand why. They're going to repel like crazy. There's a bunch of things. And you're going to get the shit repelled out of Holy Scourges, too. So, there's also Herald Lances. There's a bunch of things. The important thing, though, is that the details matter. How many Dione there are, how the Dione are scripted, what the gear on them is, and you can see there's a bunch of weird kits on these Dione, like these freaking shock plates. Gonna zap the shit out of you. You know, maybe if some of them are doing Horde of Skeletons, that could change things up, too. There's a lot of things which can make a difference. Ultimately, though, we did test, I think, against one of the hardest Dione and killed it. But I told you it wasn't 100% reliable. I think Holy Scourge is the way to go. But you need a specific set of kit. You need enough morale to push through repel. You need enough tack to hit through defense. You need to not get killed by the copper plate. You probably need some buddies around you so you don't get focused down. It's not simple. Anyway. He's obviously going to take this. And I mean, honestly, he's out of the game pretty much after last turn. So, if we come down here and look, he takes a bit. Okay. Some Bakemono get picked off at least. But he, you know, Ubar's bleeding out now. And I would go over the map and do this, but we'll have surprises. Well, we'll spoil basically the outcomes of some battles if we go to the map. So because there's really one main conflict. Oh my goodness. All right, hold up. Popcorn out. By the way, it's the holiday season while I'm recording this. I'm sipping on some highly alcoholic eggnog. So if you have a drink of your choice, I would encourage you to take this moment, pause the video, go load up. Because, oh, Slapchop, the Great Sage. Is this the god of Vanheim? This is the god of Vanheim. Slapchop has made his appearance. But Slapchop doesn't have any gems. Why would you commit your mage to a fight with no gems? There's no reason to do this. All right, let's say you want to cast spells that don't require gems. You still put gems on them. It's your fucking pretender. Right? Like, just have them cast... Like, if you're going to cast Death 3 spells, if that's the best use you can find for him, like, put gems on him so he does it with lower fatigue. Okay, that's a lot of water elementals, I'm assuming. Hold up, that's a lot of water elementals. Oh my god. Hit the commander button. Oh my god. A lot of shaman. Oh, Point Buff City. I've got a feeling. Okay. If he gets all the Vanheers in protection, and he gets them in luck, this could be very spicy. If he communions them up and does something silly, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Van Jarl Thug. How do I feel about this? On one hand, he's going to get picked to pieces if he gets isolated. On another hand, he could spread fear, be very killy, causing a lot of damage if he's surrounded by his brethren. Another Van Jarl with no gems. Another Van Jarl, no gems. On Micklin's side, I think that's anti-magic. This guy's going to be casting quickness. Quickness, probably. Bunch of quickness casters. This guy with fire gems, too. I don't know what that's for. Alright, guys. Who do you think is going to win? Say it out loud at your computer right now. Micklin or Vanheim? I'll go over... I'm already thinking right now. Problems and scripts. Oh, no, he communioned. He communioned. No, you did not. He communioned. GG. Alright, why I say that? He needs to spam out luck on everybody. He's got Vanheers. These guys need luck on them. There's no excuse for this. He better have the most powerful... Wait, what did he just fucking cast? Mind Burn Communion instead of luck casting? What the fuck? Okay, we did see, and I guess this was the god, Legions of Steel coming out. That's really nice. Strength of Giants coming out, that's also nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think this actually would have been better with Guard Commander. I mean, that's Monday morning quarterback at its finest. But I was actually thinking about that at the very beginning of the battle. Because I think you want to point buff these Vanheers. You want to give them protection and luck. And protect your mages. Let your mages communion up like turn 5 of the script. Especially if all you're going to do is fucking Mind Burn. I've never seen Lizard Shamans used so poorly for Shame Ballin. Okay. This had the makings of a good fight. We're going to have to go back and watch this again. I'm going to say what Vanheim should have done. It's clear he didn't do it. But after that, we'll go look at what Micklin does, because that's also interesting. He should have had all his guys on Guard Commander, a big Mage Corps here. The Lizards are probably fine. They're honestly... If they just give you a few more turns to distract while you do point buffs, that's fine. You also risk causing an HP rout. But these Shamans, once you hit Alt 3, you can cast Luck, and you can cast the Area Effect 1 Protection. And you want to paint that on all of your Vanheers. And then turn 5, you do that. Hitting everybody with Strength of Giants and Legions of Steel is actually a fine use of the Pretender turn. So I do approve bringing the Pretender there without any gems to do that. You can do it cheaper with Dwarves, but he might not have a Dwarf present. And if you don't have a Dwarf present, better to bring what you got than nothing at all. And then, of course, we saw the Mage Corps get just annihilated by the Ocelotls. So on Micklin's side, let's look at his script, because we didn't really watch it. And he probably does a lot of really good stuff here. All right, so quickness, we had 5 quicknesses go off. And we can see they're hitting a lot of these Aussies. You can see a little green animation. A decent amount of luck, but mostly quickness going off. Some haste getting cast as well. You don't see that. And then we have Bloodlust getting cast. And that's going to give them even more strength. So yeah, these guys hit for a lot. That is a lot of damage. And they're going to hit every time. I mean, it's 20 attack. Okay, and a lot of these guys are quickened with all those other things. Just look at that. There's nothing left. That was the first round of landing. And look, none of the Van Heers have done anything yet. Like, the battle... This is like a Van Heer army. Like, hey, look, we have all these Van Heers. Battle's literally over by the time these guys do anything. I bet you they're going to start running. Oh my god. It's a disaster. Battle report. Loses 1 turkey. 6 eagle warriors. 19 out of 40 Ozelotls. Vanheim loses his entire mage corps for the whole game. All of his Van Heers. Ooh, that's a good Micklin. Next battle in a swamp. Small raiding party. Bada bing, bada boom. I have a feeling Micklin is dividing his forces in the face of the enemy, and that is because he is so confident that he's going to win this. And he's spamming out Swarm. Little Swarm raiding. Doesn't look like it's going to work here. Okay. Vanheim getting a little layup here. Next up for Micklin. You guys in the Nazi. He might have lost a mage here, though. No, he didn't. It was close, though. Next, Micklin's attacking here. So this is the Archdevil he got from that event. Pretty badass. God, that's so cool. Magoth. Oh god, it's another Vanheim army. Hold up! Alright, so Micklin bringing a lot of commanders. This guy only has a bunch of mages that don't do anything. I think this is like... If you're in a game with good players, and Micklin is definitely a good player, you can't just show up with some units and hope you're going to bless them and win a fight. You can maybe early, like the first 12 turns, but even then. Oh god, solar eclipse coming out. Oh my god, the murder kitties arrive. Oh my god, it's a disaster. The Van Heer's blendering stuff on the way out. The only problem with complete guard commander stuff is... you almost want to have some guys on like retreat turn 5 or something so that they trigger to run forward. Because what can happen is the people guarding commander on the front get killed and then you have a lot of troops wasted on the backside. It's not like a perfect strategy. It probably would have helped here though. The battle report is again the same. Loses half of the Aussies and 80 Van Heers. Holy fuck. How did he lose 80 Van Heers? These guys have Spirit Sight or anything? They do have Spirit Sight. You know, if he killed these Aussies first, he would have had a lot better luck against the Van Heers, because these guys don't have... Oh, they do have Spirit Sight. Okay. Oh my god, they're just so much murder. These are both such killy units. Such killy bless. Woo! We'll watch one more time. Just see what Micklin did. Because I'm kind of focusing on Vanheim. A bunch of quickness spam. Divine Blessing. More quickness. Solar Eclipse. Whew. Painful, painful, painful. Micklin going underwater. A ping. Okay. That is that. Let's take a look on the map and see what the fuck just happened. This was one of the big battles. This is where all the mages died. God, this is such a good province. Look how much Micklin lost. Vanheim should have won this. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Vanheim should have stomped this army so hard. He should have stomped the shit out of it. All he had to do was guard commander and luck. He would have won. It would have been nice if he had a few more Vanheers, but still. You know, air elementals probably wouldn't have hurt either, but yeah. It is after this turn, though, that Balin Stalin has a... I think Balin's a busy dude, right? Yeah, he is a real-life morale failure and starts staling, and we have to get him a sub. Or starts almost staling, and we don't actually let his position stale, but... he becomes incommunicado. Balin... You had such good luck with sights. Couldn't turn it into a victory. It's a little sad. That said, you're going up against Micklin, and Micklin was doing exceptionally well. We end up getting a sub, though, this turn for him. So, yeah. Or maybe it's next turn we get a sub. But there's nothing... He's basically lost his position, right? His Mage Corps is mostly dead. All of his Vanheers are dead. All he really has is a bunch of land for somebody to take from him. All right, let's come over and look at Agartha, because I think Agartha had a little bit of things happening. He goes underwater here, but he has not fought Lanka yet. The Agartha-Lanka showdown is brewing, but nothing's happened, and we also don't see any more movement with Tirnanog. TNG... building up a decent army. What I want to do now, because I don't think there's really much more to look at for the turn, I'm going to pull up score graphs. Provinces, Micklin's number 1, TNG's number 2. I really want to look at research. Oh my god, who is this? Oh man, Ubar crushing research. He had all those sages. But he's not long for the world. That is too bad. I really liked watching Ubar play this. TNG's number 2. That's kind of what I was wondering. I feel like TNG, they get some site searching, they power up, and they can just go murder somebody. I feel like their bless is going to be really good on this map. Anywho. That is all very interesting. Okay, where to go next? I think we're going to go ahead and go to the next turn. We're only at 18 minutes. So let's go ahead and go to turn 38. Okay, turn 38. Message from TNG. Well, I thought I was doing well so far. It turns out the rumors are true. Okay, so this is something I should mention. Balin went in before he started having morale failures, and said that there are 300-something Aussies. I don't know where he gets this number, because it's completely pulled out of his ass. So, if you're ever in a game with Balin, you can expect kind of lazy scripting and lots of lying. Balin lies so much. It's really funny to spectate from afar. Micklin is in an amazing position and has a decent number and ever-growing army of Aussies. But he does not have 600. If we come over here and look at the map, you know, he's probably got 40 Aussies here. He's probably got 60 Aussies here, maybe. So that's 100 here. He's maybe got 20 back at home. I don't think he's making any over this way. And, yeah, I mean, he's got whatever's here, which is 14. He might have 200. If he were... That would be, I think, an upper bound at the moment. It's possible he had a few more. It's not 600. Okay. Anyway, back to the message from TNG. I thought he lost 135. I can only gasp at the 3,400 slaves needed to summon that many. My own sacred production seems meager at only about 20 per turn. Locke is trying to form a coalition against Micklin. I will join partly to stop him, but mostly for the Throne of Fire, which will put my sacreds on another fucking level. I just want to have a storm staff before large battles, so that is a priority to stop Aussie fight. There will be Elemental Pyre soon to get more sacreds, though their ranged attack with Strength of Giants will do 23 armor piercing damage. First 5 fire resistance and 15 protection will do decent damage in mass, unless he can buff their fire resistance. Still waiting to hear what magic they're using. Are using to plan to counter foul vapors with Staff of Storms. Wait, what? To plan counters. Could foul vapor traps with Staff of Storms. I thought they had a little bit of poison resistance in there. Lanka made peace with the Garth and will be going against 114. Okay, so this is the start. Basically, after those battle reports were posted, the Vanheim position is lost. Vanheim's dead. I think that's obvious to everybody who read the reports that were posted in the game chat. So basically, everybody dropped down their swords and said, let's coalition Micklin, which is smart, because if they don't, Micklin's going to win the game. Like, for sure. And this is one of the things I'm really curious about on this map is, like, how well can you coalition? Because on one hand, Micklin can defend themselves much easier through the few choke points that go into their kind of kingdom. On the other hand, it's a long and slow process to march troops in. So I'll be really interested to see how that plays out. Okay. Message from Micklin. This was a very good turn for me. I lost 2 to 3 turns of sacred production and 3 mages. Versus Vanheim, losing 24 turns of sacred production and about 30 mages. While notably we haven't killed any of their cap-only mages, they've still likely got a full stock of air gems. I don't see how they can fight armies without a critical mass of Vanheers. That said, I think they could have won the Battle of Summer Ridge with better scripting. If the Shamans had done luck times 3 before communions and the Ice Druids had done quickness, the Pretenders brought gems to do foul vapors or whatever his plan was, they used a better formation, a formation better designed for fighting flyers. Oh, and they had used a formation better for fighting flyers. They certainly could have brought enough commitment to win the battle. They certainly brought enough commitment to win the battle. Yes. Though it would have been pretty bloody given our relative ease of replacing losses. My job here is to take Vanheim's infrastructure before the other nations attack me. I'm pretty excited about the gnomes and ice druids in particular. Their latter will give me off-cap access to water 2s for future quickness point buffing. I expect I'll want more water 2s than my capital can readily produce when the time comes to fight Lanka's quickness bless. Note on research. I currently have essentially all 4s with alteration 5 due to the early push for Mother Oak. My next target will be enchantment 6. Eternal Pyre is worth competing for just to deny it from Ubar, and Heat from Hell is probably my best option for battlefield magic against Lanka. Also, Summer Ridge is a ridiculous province, 9 gems and a gold site, and the ability to recruit gnomes. Since Vanheim kindly built a lab, I'm taking a turn to reinforce my army with summons before advancing. Cool. Message from Lanka. We got news from Vanheim that Micklin crushed him with an Archdevil and 600 Aussies. Okay, that's a lie. It's funny how you just say a lie and you post some battle reports and everybody believes you, even though the battle reports in no way confirm the lie. Of course, I did nothing to dispel this in the game chat, though I'm dispelling it here. Okay, if it's true and the Jaguars have that many murder kitties, then their blood economy must be pulling in around 200 slaves a turn. That's way more than anyone else on the map can handle. So we've done our best to organize a proper coalition or a proper dogpile on the Anti-Dogpile map. And we've called a ceasefire with Agartha and TNN, right? As we're about to have our big fight with Agartha. We're sending everything now we've got to into that row. That's around 200 cute little speedy demons. TNG is sending another 200 from the other side to fight. Hopefully it's enough. Okay. Let's go through the columns here. I don't think there's huge battles. We'll just click through these here. This is the army of Micklin. Group of jags in front. I wonder if these are all afflicted. No? Okay. They move over here. Okay, this is the turn that Bone like basically staled the previous turn. And then this turn he actually stales and we replace him. And I had to like change the password because he wouldn't give me his password. And so that means I had to do this turn. I burned this cap down. Not out of spite or salt or anything, but because it seems to be the optimal play. There's literally nothing he can do to defend it. On one hand, it'll give him access to Niflheim's gems sooner, but I was thinking he's probably going to pull back or bring a significant... I mean, he can get Siege Chaff so quickly. Summon wolves, do whatever. Best to destroy the fort and lab here. And I think I also moved this squad over here to defend, assuming that Micklin's going to move down here and attack. But yeah, I mean, this is completely forfeit. I mean, whether you destroy the fort or not, I don't know. They're both pretty freaking bad outcomes, but the other thing is if you destroy the fort, it gives you a better chance if you have some turnaround over here of coming back and quickly reclaiming this area. Because if he gets it, like he moves a Siege Chaff army in or something, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was the optimal play. It seemed to be that to me at the time. We didn't like pillage or anything, but this is basically Micklin's fort right now. So if you can destroy it, why not? Yeah. They're moving this way. They've taken this throne out, though they lose a Rain Priest, which sucks for them because this is a cap-only mage. How did this guy die? Just random arrow? Oh god. Got yeeted. Barb's attack here. Illwinter even joining in against him. And then, yeah. Okay. So that's about it for that column. Over here, let's see if TNG... Okay, TNG does appear to be mobilizing. We can see these guys moving over this way towards the Throne of Fire. God, there's so many dudes. And we see... Yeah, I mean... This is the army going on top of Ubar's capital. Yeah, there just aren't any answers to these Dione. This was so cool watching this whole conflict, though. I feel like this played more like Yomi than I've ever seen Yomi play. Like, just the waves of low-level demons and undead dying, and then these guys retreating, and then coming back with more. It was awesome. Oh, this hurts so bad. So I think he's going to try to evocate this guy down. Oh no, he's jumping in. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Holy Scourge. Herald Lance, Main Gosh of Parrying. Flambeau, these are all damage, extra damage against these dudes. Okay, I already know what the problem is. There's a few problems. Probably this is a good time to have Jin on Guard Commander. Give other stuff for these guys to attack. We also know from our testing, this is going to get repelled. This is going to get repelled. These are all going to get repelled. Right? You need a lot more morale than they're going to have. Watch what happens. First of all, that guy gets heated. Look at this. Was repelled, was repelled, was repelled, was repelled. Was repelled. That was a miss. Okay, so let's go through the solution to this. The solution, and we did this in the test game. I showed it to you some episodes back, but in this particular case, the kit becomes more complicated. I like the thinking on the Pendant of Luck, but also some good advice. Look at the combat logs. Like, especially if you do a test game and it's not working, like, look at the combat logs so you know why. Or, like, I hope he learned from doing this. Like, if you're not going to do a test game, because, you're kind of out of the game at this point. If you're not going to do a test game, then learn in the real game, right? So, like, when this happens, read the combat logs in game. So what you want to do to fix this is you need to get your morale up. 12 morale is not very high. You're going to fail a lot of the repel checks. But if you get up to 20 morale, that's going to be pretty high. You can put in the fire hat. That's going to give you 5 bonus morale. You can put in fire armor if you want to. That's a bonus 2 morale, I think. You can do Ring of the Warrior. It's a blood item, which you can forge super cheap. It gives you bonus morale and bonus attack, both things you're going to need. Those are like the best things, I think, to put on. I like the idea. I mean, the thing is, defense, you're still going to kind of die every time. But I love the luck charm. I think, like, Ring of the Warrior, this luck charm, I wouldn't worry about the defense too much. You're just going to die if you get hit and goes through luck. If you have this Astral Mage... Oh, no, this isn't that. If you have an Astral Mage, getting Cheat Fate on these guys is also... especially if you combine that with luck. There's a bunch of things you can do. But we see these are things that could kill him. But they have to hit. And that's going to be really hard on a stat monster like this that can repel. So... is it as simple as just saying, wear a Holy Scourge and kill a Dione? No, it's not. I think this is a pretty good example. Some people are like, oh, you just put it on a commander and you'll kill Dione. I've seen people say that. Just put on like an indie horse tribe. All right, what if we put it on like all these dudes? Is that going to work? Apparently not. All right, so it's a little more complicated. But he's on the right path. He is on the right path. But the thing is it'd be so easy to like look at this and see, okay, like, well, clearly I made the wrong decision trying to put these guys in melee. But I think it's actually the right decision. It just wasn't fully implemented, right? So it's like, you have to be careful what you learn. Like, you need to learn from this, hey, we got repelled. You don't want to learn from this, hey, we shouldn't be putting our guys ever in melee with Dione, because that might be the only way to kill the Dione. Very cool, though. Siege army moving in, and this truly is now the end of Ubar. Niflheim still with this trail of tears behind them as they've flipped their way through here. The She-Lords coming back, taking back some of the land from the Nifl Giants, and maybe Tirnanog. Maybe they'll bow out of this conflict. Well, they've already bowed out of the conflict with Lanka, but maybe they're not going to participate in this conflict of Micklin, with Micklin, and will instead devote themselves to picking apart the nation-state of Niflheim. So that's that. There's a Gartha. Gartha moving everything towards this throne now, it looks like. And I think that's it. I don't think we'll scan through these, make sure I didn't miss anything. Don't think we did. All right, so tune in next time. We are going to have the forming of the Micklin coalition. All the pieces are going to swing into action. We'll see to what degree of effect. Can they stop Micklin before he finishes eating Vanheim? Or will they, stall and delay and maybe attack at different times so Micklin can kind of deal with one and then the other? Or will they be successful? Will they punch a big hole in Micklin? And then what happens after that? Like, if they stop Micklin, like, what happens? Do people have these weird U-shaped empires where, like, does Agartha get Niflheim's cap? I have no freaking idea, but I'm interested to see. So with that, tune in next time, see what happens, and until then, take care.